Audioholics, we are back at CES 2016, and this time we're here with one of the perennial favorites of the Audioholics crew, and that is SVS. And they have not only some of the best subwoofers in the world, but they're expanding their speaker lines as well as interconnect and speaker wires as well. I am here first and foremost with the CEO and president, yes, of everything.
Chief Cook and Bottle Washer.
Chief Cook and Bottle Washer, Gary Yacoubian.
How are you? Thanks for having me. Welcome to CES, and welcome to SVS at CES 2016.
Thank you.
I wonder if it'll be called CTS next year. You know, they've changed to CTA. Maybe it'll be CTS.
I'm waiting for your fitness product. As soon as I can wrap an
Right.
SVS fitness band around my midsection, I'll be in good shape.
Yeah, wearable subwoofer.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, start by talking a little bit about your latest product, which is the Elevations.
Yeah, well, we're really proud of that. The Audioholics community should be familiar with the Prime satellite. This was our what we did here was we wanted to create in the satellite category a real speaker. So what we did, if you hold it, you guys can't hold it in your hand, but if you hold it in your hand, it's heavily braced MDF cabinet, beautiful finish. The same drivers we're using in our award-winning Prime series, a real crossover, so not extruded plastic, not cheap drivers. No crossover, but a real experience. And you know, we have in this room actually a Prime satellite 5.1 based system. That's our 5 of these satellites and our SB1000 subwoofer that's gotten so much positive attention over the years. That's a real immersive home theater experience. We're offering it at $9.99. We're actually showing it with a clearance Onkyo receiver I bought just at retail, just to show that for the price of a soundbar, you can have an immersive, awesome home theater experience.
And it's fish sticks versus caviar, people. If you listen to both of them side by side, you're going to know what's what.
I don't think it's subtle. I think it's quite obvious. So we're happy with the reception we've gotten, and we got excited about trying to extend this a little bit. So this is our all-new Prime Elevation speaker. Based on the Prime satellite, it is very similar, a little bit more cabinet volume, same height, but with an angled baffle so that we can do things with it that you cannot do with a normal front-facing speaker. So, for example, we are showing it in the show. I'm going to hold it here, but imagine it all the way up on your wall, up to the ceiling, direct radiating down the height information from a Dolby Atmos, DTSX, or RO system, any object-based surround sound system. Why is this great? Because we're not big believers in the ceiling bounce. Ceiling bounce, which is placing an angled speaker on the front on top of the front tower and aiming it up at the ceiling. Problem with that is, in order to make it work, you need to frequency limit the speaker. You need to recess the tweeter and hope that the speaker will beam up to the ceiling and come down to the listener in the way that reflects what's going on in the effects track. Problem with that is no speaker is a laser beam, so not only will you hear, if you even do hear the ceiling bounce, which in a lot of installations you don't, you still will hear some direct radiating sound to you. So we find that option to be compromised, and the person who has a Dolby Atmos theater, they're looking for an over-the-top surround sound experience.
Which isn't to say that you couldn't take one of these speakers and set it on top of your tower speakers and try the ceiling bounce thing. But when they look that good and they're easy to set up and they're small and they're compact, why not hang it on the wall? It doesn't need to be right on the ceiling.
That's exactly right. And we have a very simple mounting system. It'll hang on the wall. It's not, if it were a front facing speaker, you'd have to hang it straight down from the wall, and that's pretty difficult. So it's a relatively simple installation, and you get a really premium Atmos experience or DTSX or RO experience. And the other thing is, because it's a true full-range speaker, it can be used any number of other ways. So imagine a situation where the center channel needs to go below the listener's ear level. This speaker can sit on the floor and aim up at the listener's ear level, or it can sit high up on the wall and aim down as a center channel or a left or a right front speaker.
So Audioholics, I know you and I have talked about this. I know this because one of our most popular videos is the home theater setup video, and we talk about angling that speaker upwards so that you can get the sound actually shooting towards your ear. With the Elevation speaker, no need to angle it. It's already been angled for you. They're already thinking about you trying to get the speaker where it belongs.
Yeah, and we actually have a magnetic logo on the grill so that if you're turning it so that the angle is facing upward, just flip the logo, and now the SVS is right side up. If you're aiming it downward, flip the logo, and it's correct in that configuration. And You can aim it sideways. Why would you want to aim it sideways? Because sometimes the back surround speaker cannot be placed on the back wall. So why not place it on the side wall and aim it to the back of the room? By the same token, sometimes you can't have the side surround speaker right at ear level. So why not put it in the rear of the room and have it aim towards the front?
Anybody who's ever messed with one of these angle speaker brackets or the kind where you have to wrench down the nut to get the thing to stay in the angle that you want, you all should be falling in love right now. You take this speaker, you configure it any one of 6 different ways, and you have exactly the sound setup that you need.
The truth is, we kind of viewed this as a mini launch. Well, I thought, you know, it's great, it's cool, it's fun. Everyone says, like, why didn't we think of this? But the fuss about it has been so overwhelming that I think it's more than a mini launch. It's been a lot of fun. It solves a lot of different home theater installation problems.
Yeah, this is, if you've seen my room, I got to do a tour of my room. But essentially, what I have is a speaker similar to this, kind of like a slice of pizza, crammed into the corner up above in my kitchen area, up and out of the way. I wish these had existed 5 years ago when I was hanging that speaker, because I'd have SVS speakers in my room right now.
They exist now. We're all ready for you.
One more thing that you're ready for, and that is right now what happens when you get all your equipment. You want to connect everything up. How do you get a brand of interconnect and speaker wire that you can trust, but not break the bank, not go chasing after fool's gold? And you have an answer for that as well.
We do. Well, we have our SoundPath. Thank you, sir. We have our SoundPath accessories. We call it a sub-brand. It's SVS SoundPath. And where we saw a gap. By the way, we don't make an SVS product unless I can explain in one sentence why it exists. And so we saw a kind of a miss on the part of the industry. Either you have these super expensive executions that, you know, the average person probably wouldn't consider. You know, multi-hundreds of dollars to connect your speakers or to connect your components, or the very, very bottom dollar executions that are, I guess, suspect in terms of their build quality and their performance, you know, when you're talking about $6 or $7 for something. So, but wouldn't there be an opportunity to present something that's high quality, awesome performance within the category, no smoke and mirrors, snake oil technology stories, but just high quality and affordable? And that's where we thought SoundPath should be. So this is our SoundPath Ultra speaker wire. And the way we're doing it is, it's very high performance 12 gauge speaker wire. Lots of technology stories I could tell, but you
don't want to cast a spell over it.
Right,
you don't want to bind it with blood magic.
Right. But one of the cool things is you choose the length that you want and the termination type that you want, whether it be spades or whether it be, we're in the dark here, whether it be spades or bananas. Tell us the length. We hand solder terminate them in Ohio and send them to you at exactly the length you want. And you can have a combination of spades and bananas or whatever works for your installation.
So if you didn't catch that, fully customizable cables down to, if I need 10 feet 6 inches, can I get 10 feet 6 inches?
You can. You absolutely can. Well, we've got them listed on our site in increments, but if you want an exactly 10 foot 6 inch increment, absolutely. We'll do that over the phone with you.
And so now the question is, fully customized cable, that's got to cost me a fortune. What am I looking to spend on give me a length and what that would cost?
So we're talking about, I'm going to say, I'm running out of gas here, maybe $69.95 for an 8-foot pair. For our best cable, $49.95 for a 50-foot spool of our, what we call SoundPath 1, our more entry-level cable. Beautiful cable. But even the SoundPath 1, which would come in a spool and you would terminate it yourself, you'll know it when you feel it and you hold it in your hand. It's quality execution, it performs well, rejects noise, and will work well in long runs.
And this is only sort of the top end, the most customizable of a full range of interconnects and speaker wire, all the way down to bulk wire. You've got obviously RCA cables that you run, coax cables that you run to your subwoofers. It wouldn't be SVS without a subwoofer. And we're going to be following up this video with what I'll call an anatomy of a subwoofer. You have a fantastic cross-section of one of your flagship subwoofers that really goes to show how much integrity there is in the design of what SVS does. And that subwoofer, I'm guessing that you bought out the room next door as well, so you didn't get complaints from the neighbors with the sound levels?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're getting complaints from the neighbors on the other side, so we probably should have gotten both. We probably should have gotten both rooms, but you know, it's a place to do meetings in quiet. But I think to your point about the cutaway of the subwoofer, which is a great thing to show people, a subwoofer is an ecosystem. It's a marriage of a driver, which our driver is amazing. When you see them, I hope you'll be able to highlight the motor on that driver weighs more than most people's entire subwoofer. So a driver that's been over-engineered to be able to deliver low-frequency extension, full output SPL, but also accurate frequency response, quick transient response, and the ability to blends seamlessly with the full range speakers. Then you have an amplifier that's been carefully matched through DSP to that driver and to the cabinet volume that you're using and the port length and width and diameter. When you look inside that thing, you realize it's not just a question of a driver, an amp, and a cabinet. It's actually a full-on ecosystem.
Yeah, there's nothing to hide with SVS subwoofers. They're as proud of the innards as the outwards when it comes down to it. Well, Gary, I know you've got places to be, and it's obviously a very busy week here at CES 2016. I want to thank you very much for making time for us, and we are super excited to see SVS continue to launch amazing new products that are solving the needs of people on a budget.
Marshall, thank you so much, and thanks to everybody from the Audioholics community.